Hello, welcome back to the chaos that is Shani and books.
Oh, I just can't have a video that goes smoothly, unfortunately. I have to start with chaos again. My microphone, when I recorded this, was not recording for the first couple of minutes here. So unfortunately, I am going to have to use the terrible sound quality that was picked up by my camera. But I apologize, but it does go back to good audio after just a couple of minutes. So if we can get through the first 2 minutes, it goes back to good audio quality. I am so sorry.
Today, I'm going to be going over some 2024 book releases. I can't believe we're already talking about books that are going to be released in 2024. But I started compiling a list of a bunch of books that I could potentially be interested in the coming year. These are definitely not all books that I am going to say that I will read during the year because I actually have a lot. And I actually think I'm going to have to split this into, I think maybe 3 separate videos because that's how many books I have so far. These are just books that I'm potentially interested in that I would like to share because other people may be interested in them. A lot of these books I haven't seen a whole bunch of people talking about. I actually haven't really paid that much attention to what people are actually anticipating in the year. Some of these are authors that I've read before. A lot of these are authors that I've never heard of. Some are debut authors. I have a range of genres. I have romances, I have fiction, I have some non-fiction in here, just a couple. But yeah, I think I'm going to talk about 21 in this video of different books. And then I think I'll make 2 more. So if you are looking to keep up with new releases in the coming year, then definitely stay tuned for the next 2 videos as well. But we're starting off chronologically and I'm going to start with January. I think I have all of these books in the order that they will be published according to the dates on Goodreads, but we'll see how we go. I also don't remember what they are about since I made this list, so we're going to find out together. Right, so this first one is called Swanna in Love by Jennifer Bell. So this is a best-selling author and this is being released on January 2nd and it is in the fiction category. In the summer of 1982 and 14-year-old Swanna Swain is the only one left at camp. The place is a ghost town by the time her mother Val finally shows up 6 hours late, stoned and radiant, in a Ford pickup driven by Borislav, her new young Russian lover. Assuming that she is headed home to her air-conditioned Upper West Side apartment, Swanna and her lovable younger brother, Madeline. Oh, you know I love a sibling story. Oh, my camera battery's dying. Of course it is. It does say it is a kind of inverse Lolita that explores adolescent desire from the girl's point of view. In turns hilarious and wildly shocking. Will keep your feathers ruffled and the pages gliding by. A little bit nervous because it is sounding like it is an underage girl and an older man. Maybe something along the lines of My Dark Vanessa, which was very difficult for me to get through. So I'm putting this on my maybe list. But the second book that I have is an author that I've read before. This one is called Come and Get It by Kylie Reid. And Kylie Reid wrote Such a Fun Age, which I read a few years ago when it first came out and I really enjoyed it. A provocative story about a residential assistant and her messy entanglement with a professor and 3 unruly students. Come and Get It is a tension-filled story about money, indiscretion, and bad behaviour. And that one says it is expected to be published on January the 9th. Next up we have January 16, and this one is called Valley Verified by Kyla Zhao, being published January 16 in the fiction contemporary genre. A fashion writer that dives headfirst into the cutthroat Silicon Valley tech world. Her future threatens to unravel in this addictive novel. She's made it into New York's fashion world after a string of unpaid internships. She's now a fashion columnist at Chic. But life in New York City isn't as chic as Zoe imagined. Her editor wants her to censor her opinions to please the big brands. She shares her quaint apartment with 2 roommates who never let her store kimchi in the fridge. And how is she supposed to afford the designer clothes expected for those parties on her meager salary? One day she receives a job offer at Fitpick, an app startup based in Silicon Valley. The tech salary and office perks are sweet, but moving across the country and switching to a totally new industry, not so much. She accepts the offer and swaps high fashion for high tech. Well, this sounds like a lot of fun. I'm excited for this one.
All right. I'm back. Next up, I have the book Say You'll Be Mine by an author called Naina Kumar. Maybe saying that wrong, hopefully not. This one says it is expected to be published on January 16 and it is shelved as a romance novel. So it's a debut romance. A teacher with big dreams joins forces with a no-nonsense engineer to survive an ex's wedding and escape matchmaking pressure from their Indian families. Their plan, faking an engagement, of course. So this one's for all my fake engagement reader friends. Then for January 23, I have this book called Family by Laurie Frankel. It says it is a fiction book. Not all stories of adoption are stories of pain and regret, not even most of them. Why don't we ever get that movie? An adoptive mum in real life though. She wants everyone to know there's more to her family than just pain and regret. The one thing she knows for sure is that what makes family isn't blood and it isn't love. No matter how they're formed, the truth about family is this: it's complicated. All right, another romance. This one says it is being published on January 30. It's called The... Unfortunately, I am going to have to cut out this book because I've just realized that it's being published by St. Martin's Press. And unfortunately, there's a boycott happening at the moment for this publisher because they have not addressed the racist and Islamophobic things that an employee was saying publicly. This employee is in charge of working closely with reviewers, and it is concerning that their racist beliefs could be bleeding into their work life and impacting readers, writers, and reviewers. So this book sounds really, really good, but unfortunately, due to the publisher it's being published with, I'm going to have to skip it. Right, next up, I have Mrs. Quinn's Rise to Fame by Olivia Ford. This one says it's coming out January 30, says fiction. Nothing could be more out of character, but after 59 years of marriage, as her husband Bernard's health declines and her friends' lives become focused on their grandchildren, which Jenny never had, she decides she wants a little something for herself. So she secretly applies to be a contestant on the primetime TV show Britain Bakes. I do want more books with older characters. So this sounds like it's that, and she is going on a baking TV show, which sounds fun. Next up, on January 30, we have How We Named the Stars. So this one, the shelves say queer, LGBT, and fiction. Set between the United States and Mexico. It's a debut novel, okay. Exploration of belonging, grief, and first love. A love story for those so often written off the page. Okay, so two roommates. So for those of you who likes roommates to lovers. How We Named the Stars is a debut novel of love, heartache, redemption, and learning to honor the dead. A story of finding the strength to figure out who you are and who you could be if only the world would let you. All right, next one that is being re-released in other countries. This one originally was published in New Zealand. I actually have an ARC for this one. It's called Greta and Valdin by Rebecca K. Riley. And it says it's coming out February 6, 2024 in, I guess, the US and other places. But this says fiction, contemporary, queer, LGBT, romance. Those are the tags on it. For fans of Schitt's Creek and Sally Rooney's Normal People, an irresistible and big-hearted international bestseller that follows a brother and a sister. I remember why I requested this. As they navigate queerness, multiracial identity, and the dramas, big and small, of their entangled, unconventional family, all while flailing their way to love. Okay, next, we are in February now. So February 6, 2024 says will be the publishing date for A Love Song for Ricki Wilde by Tia Williams. I read 7 Days in June by this author, and it's one of my favorite ever romances. One of the only second chance romances that I liked, so I definitely will be trying more from this author. This is a romance book. The impulsive, artistic daughter of a powerful Atlanta dynasty, she's the opposite of her famous socialite sisters. Where they're lawn-stemmed roses, she's a dandelion, an adorable bloom that's actually a weed, born to float wherever the wind blows. A love song for Ricki Wilde is a swoon-worthy love story of two passionate artists drawn to the magic, romance, and opportunity of New York, and whose lives are uniquely and irreversibly linked. And I will read more from this author, so I'm very excited. Next, on February 6th, I think I maybe have these out of order, do I? Another author I've read before, this one is by Ali Hazelwood, and this is the book Bride, which is a bit different because I think it is a paranormal romance. A dangerous alliance between a vampire bride and an alpha werewolf becomes a love deep enough to sink your teeth into in this new paranormal romance. Sounds very interesting. It does say it's also a marriage of convenience. So if you're interested in a vampire werewolf romance written by Ali Hazelwood, I think this is going to be a very interesting one. Next up, we have on February 6th again, Aftershock by Zhang Ling and translated by Shelley Bryant. A disaster in China triggers a mother's heartbreaking choice and a daughter's reconciliation with the past in a powerful novel where in 1976 an earthquake swallows up the city of Tangshan, China. A mother makes an agonizing decision that changes her life. Oh my gosh, the 7-year-old daughter is separated from her brother and the mother she loves and trusts. Oh my god. I don't know if I can read this. I think it's too sad. But yeah, I think it's them trying to get back to each other to get closure. And that sounds really sad. So I don't know if my heart can take it. Next up, again on February 6th, we have The Things We Didn't Know by Elba Iris Perez. historical fiction, which I don't always read, but I am interested in it. Debut novel. Okay. A young girl's childhood between 1950s Puerto Rico and a small Massachusetts factory town. Her mother whisks her and her brother Pablo away. Oh, and she leaves them and promises to return. Interesting. I am interested in more historical fiction, so adding that to the list. All right, moving on to February 13, we have I Love You So Much It's Killing Us Both by Mariah Stovall. A black woman's coming-of-age story chronicling a life-changing friendship, the interplay between music fandom and identity, and the slipperiness of sanity. An immersive journey into the life and mind of Kaki Oliver. Sounds like we're following a messy main character, maybe. This one also sounds interesting. Another historical fiction coming out on February 13. It's called The Last Days of the Midnight Ramblers by Sarah Tomlinson. Says perfect for fans of Daisy Jones and the Six and Almost Famous. The gripping debut about the complicated legacy of a legendary rock band and the ghostwriter telling their story. So definitely giving Daisy Jones and the Six vibes. Mari Hawthorne has just landed the biggest job of her ghostwriting career. So it's writing a memoir for a legendary model and style icon who had romances in the 60s with 3 members of a hugely influential rock band. The band became famous for their backstage drama as well as their music. Interesting. So now this model is the only one who fully understands the tangled relationships, betrayals, and suspicions. This definitely is giving Daisy Jones and the Six, and I am very excited. Okay, next we have one that again is being republished. It's been translated. This one comes out. Originally it was published in 2013 and it's coming out February 13 in the US and other places, I assume. I'm saying the US because I'm on Goodreads and I'm assuming that's the default. Anyway, this one's called The Kamogawa Food Detectives by Hisashi Kashiwai. Oh gosh, my accent does not do well with these names and words. Anyway, so this one says for fans of Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I definitely get that vibes. The tagline says, "What's one dish you'd do anything to taste just one more time?" A very special restaurant serves up deliciously extravagant meals, but that's not the main reason customers come by. The father-daughter duo are food detectives. Through ingenious investigations, they're able to recreate dishes from a person's treasured memories. Dishes that may well hold the keys to their forgotten past and future happiness. The Restaurant of Lost Recipes provides a link to vanished moments, creating a present full of possibility. I can't speak, but it definitely sounds like it is similar to Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I'm very interested in it. Another romance we have coming out on February 13. This one is called Sex, Lies and Sensibility by Nikki Payne. 2 sisters roll up their sleeves to run a dilapidated beach town inn, but must learn to work with the locals in this deliciously spicy Sense and Sensibility inspired rom-com by Nikki Payne. So if you're a fan of retellings, this one will be for you if you're a fan of siblings. 2 sisters, it seems like. Also on February 13, we have How You Get the Girl by Anita Kelly. This one is a queer romance, tagged as queer, lesbian, romance, LGBT. Okay. This workplace rom-com set in the world of high school basketball from the author of Love and Other Disasters. Oh, I have read that. I've read from this author. Okay, so one girl is joining the basketball team that the other person coaches. Is this adult? Why are we mentioning high school? Unless they're 2 teachers? I don't know. I'm confused. Either way, sounds fun. I'm excited for it. I'm in my sapphic romance era. Next up, another one that I do have an arc of. It comes out on February 13. Again, another romance. This one is called The Catch by Amy Lee. This is part of her influencer series. I read one of the books. I didn't super love it, but I didn't hate it or the writing either. And I do have the first book on my Kindle as well. So this one is a grumpy lobster fisherman and a fashion influencer who are going to have a romance. Very excited for that. In a last-ditch effort to rescue her brand from the brink of irrelevance, Boston fashion influencer Melanie finds herself in a rural fishing village on the east coast of Canada. The only thing scarier than nature itself, the burly, bearded bed and breakfast owner and fisherman Evan Whaler, who single-handedly disproves the theory that Canadians are nice. After a boating incident lands Evan unconscious in hospital, Mel is mistaken for his fiancée by his welcoming yet quirky family. Oh my gosh, this sounds really fun. I'm excited and I've already got it, so I can start reading it soon. Another translated one. This says it was originally published in 2022 and it is coming out February 20. This one is called Welcome to the Hyunam-Dong Bookshop. For sure I'm saying that wrong. The Korean smash hit available for the first time in English. Slice of life novel for readers of Matt Haig's The Midnight Library and Gabrielle Zevin's The Storied Life of AJ Thickery. Okay. A woman's high-flying career, demanding marriage, and busy life in Seoul. She should feel successful, but she feels drained. Yet an abandoned dream nags at her, and in a leap of faith, she leaves her old life behind, quitting her job and divorcing her husband. Okay, this is a change of life. I love a life change story. So she moves to a small residential neighborhood outside the city where she opens a bookshop. This sounds like lovely. Books about books. It's tagged as. Love that. She finds her news story as the Hyunam-Dong bookshop, I'm really sorry, I need to look that up, transforms into an inviting space for lost souls to rest, heal, and remember that it's never too late to scrap the plot and start again. Very excited for this one. And lastly, we have a book coming out on February 20. Don't worry, I'll continue with the rest of my books. We're only at February and I have so many more to go, so there'll be 2 more videos. This one is called A Fire So Wilde by Sarah Ruiz Grossman. With the emotional echoes of Little Fires Everywhere, you have me already, and the lush atmosphere of Disappearing Earth, a riveting debut novel in which a wildfire creeps towards Berkeley, California. The city's inhabitants are forced to reckon with the cracks in the lives they've built. Abigail, a wealthy homeowner, decides to throw a lavish birthday party in a hillside mansion to raise money for the city's newest affordable housing project. And Sunny, a construction worker who sleeps in a van along the bay's shore, is in the running for an apartment, but only if enough funds are raised at the party. Fire So Wild is a timely, tautly paced novel that questions why, when everything burns, not everyone is left with scars. Interesting. So definitely sounds interesting, and the mention of Little Fires Everywhere has my attention. Like I said, I have 2 more videos probably coming with around 20 books each. I just didn't want to make one hugely long one. So definitely keep an eye out if you want to hear more books that you may want to put on your own radar. I'll leave links below for these if I can. But I hope that maybe you found something that you hadn't heard of, something that you are interested in. I tried to find as many books as I could that I was actually interested in. I know I didn't include a lot of genres that I don't read as much, so I'm sorry you'll have to go to someone else for fantasy. But I tried to have a lot of what I'm personally interested in reading, which at the moment is fiction, some romance, and a lot of BIPOC authors, which is what this kind of was. But yeah, definitely give me more books that you're interested in because maybe I've missed some, but yes, keep your eyes peeled. 2 more videos coming. Probably in the next 2 days because I'm trying to low-key do bookmas, vlogmas. I just didn't want to put pressure on myself by officially saying it, but I'm going to have a video out almost every day. Let me know which one of these books you are the most interested in that I gave you today, if you would pick any of them up. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow with more books.